my Troublesomes, it's Miracle, and welcome back to Mind of America. I'm so happy you guys decided to join me today. So honeys, we are doing what we do best, and that is minding other people's business. So go ahead and sit back, relax, grab yourself a little comfort pillow, put that on your lap, and get yourself a little drinky drink because I got some hot chocolate for you, honey. So I'm going to be informing you of the inside scoop as to what's going on with Stephanie Sue. As it stands right now, she dropped a rather cryptic message indicating that she is going to go ahead and speak to her attorneys regarding the situation revolving around her security, and Nikocado, Avocado being the one who released images of her security camera. We actually hear from a rather interesting and very relevant party to this whole situation, and that is Veronica Wang. She ends up releasing a rather long but very detailed encouragement video, and this is what she had to say.
Hey guys, so I'm not quite over grieving over my friend who passed away. I still have a lot of emotions I'm feeling, a lot of thoughts I'm thinking, but I wanted to take the time to let you guys know that I do know what's happening online with Nikocado and Stephanie Sue. It is a serious situation. It's not just some drama that Nikocado has sketched up to be in the past with other people. These are real people that he attacks and he manipulates, and it's not okay. And I wanted to make a response video the minute it happened to Stephanie, and she posted what she posted. I did contact her and I did let her know that I'm happy that she's okay, and I'm proud of her endurance and her strength. I saw Nikocado's response video, and I just watched Stephanie's response to his response video, and I just have to say that I am so proud of Stephanie for standing up against Nikocado. He really is a master manipulator. He knows how to twist things, and he finally just messed with the wrong person. But I'm happy that Stephanie stood up for herself, and she stood up for people who have been victims of Nikocado, because it's not just me. It's not just the man in New York. You know, it's Divine Munchies. You know, it's anyone that's really done a video with him, because I can't imagine the amount of people who've done videos with him who have maybe said something a little bit out of line and who are scared to speak against him.
So at this time, we don't know if she's going to formally address the situation, but at least we hear where her stance is. The next group of people we are actually going to be discussing at this time, Stephanie actually introduced them to us in her last video. I know you guys are possibly wondering who, being that Stephanie only visually showed herself, but she actually showed a clip towards the end of two individuals talking to her within a podcast, and that podcast is actually called Genius Brain, and it is hosted and run by David So Comedy along with Joe Jitsakawa. Joe Jitsakawa actually runs multiple different YouTube channels, and they all fall under the branding of Just Kidding Films. Interestingly enough, Joe Jitsakawa, along with the co-owner of Just Kidding Films and many of the Minion cast, have been accused of bullying one of their ex-employees. Here on the screen we see a face. Many of you may know who he is. His name is Joshua Osei. Joshua has actually been an integral part of Just Kidding Films for many, many years, and as it stands, he is most recognized in his contributions to Just Kidding Gamer, along with Just Kidding Party. Now, some insight on Just Kidding Party. It is a channel where people play board games, activity puzzles, relays, and all of the like. And sometimes they'll throw in a challenge here and there, and oftentimes it's prompted by everyone interacting with each other, and sometimes roasting is involved. Back in November, Josh actually announced to his fans on Instagram that he would be leaving Just Kidding Party.
Joshua's exiting post is as follows. Hey guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being an awesome community for me. I just shot my last video of Just Kidding Party. It's been a wild ride for all of these years. I just really want to thank you all for having my back so much. A lot of it was needed, and you all standing up for me for wacky stuff and explainable stuff was seriously heartwarming. As it pains me to say, it will be my last video. It's been a tough decision, for I have thought about it for a while. I have a vlog that's coming out, but anything after that I'm a bit unsure of. You all consistently made my day when I was having it rough. Seeing your comments or tags would seriously cheer me up. If I have any real people to thank for genuinely giving me a platform, it's honestly you guys. While some of the comments did hurt, for the most part, I have never loved a community more than I have with you. Thank you all for making such a difference in my life. I hope you all can respect my decision. I'll never forget all my time at JK, but I can't wait to see what the future holds for me. I love you all.
Why are we talking about this here and now in January? As it stands right now, Just Kidding Party has actually decided to close their doors, so to speak, and they will no longer be producing content for that particular channel. One of their crew members named Antoine kind of gives a brief summary as to why this is happening. A formal video will be coming out later in the month, but it all stems around there not being enough views to be able to support the amount of money that they are putting into this particular channel. Now, you would think this would all finish off there, however it doesn't, because there was a recent video that was released by Just Kidding News. Within that particular channel, they actually have a sub-segment called Conspiracy Corner, where they actually discuss conspiracy theories and the like. If you guys were not aware, most of the crew members involved in the main cast are actually comedians, and one comedian in particular, it is Steve Green. He actually made this very interesting statement at the end of the video.
Yeah, that's another Mandela. You guys want to know my favorite Mandela effect? You guys want to know my favorite Mandela effect of all?
What?
So we all remember Josh leaving JK Party, right? But what I remember, some of us remember, is that JK Party ended anyway, and Josh just said he quit.
Interestingly enough, it has been seen that Josh has allegedly responded and then retracted that response by deleting it. While I do not have the original text, unfortunately, this is the alleged message he said, and this has not been confirmed or denied by this party, but I'm going to share it with you guys anyway.
This is the alleged deleted comment that Josh had left underneath that video. It reads, "I remember all the drama that happened the last 6 years. Angry texts when they get killed in Mafia, problems on set and behind the scenes. I'm glad I'm out, Chief. Especially when everyone that has worked in the company then left has said that I was treated differently to everyone."
A personal friend to the main cast members, Miss Gina Darling, actually took to Twitter to respond to this situation. She does not drop any names. However, many fans were left to inquire as to who she potentially was speaking about.
Gina's tweet reads, "Imagine burning bridges with a company that plucked you from obscurity and gave you a job, being too scared to talk to us in person and talking crap online instead. People really need to remember where the F they came from."
Twitter was rather inundated with the pressing question of who the heck is she speaking about. While she did not formally answer that question, she did give an indication as to what was actually happening by liking someone's tweet. As it stands, one of her fans ends up asking her directly if it was Josh, and, well, let me just share the tweet with you.
This fan tweets, "A lot of people are speculating that this is about Josh. If it's not Josh, can you tell us it's not? If you plead the fifth, then we'll assume it is. Laughing emoji."
And to add more insult to injury, Steve Green actually ends up doing a bit and sharing the same joke he said at the end of the video regarding the Mandela effect and applying it to his Twitter account, to which Gina aptly says, "LOL." Now, why would anybody be reacting this hard to alleged bullying? Because that is not something we would take as a joking matter. Now, we hear more context from the main cast side, and Steve Green actually takes the time to go ahead into the channel's Discord, where they usually interact with their fans regularly, to explain what is going on with that situation.
Here are a few posts that Steve shares over on Discord. "I have nothing but love for Josh, but for him to try and crap on JK after the fact is weak as F. He benefited from all that, and only after the fact, when Just Kidding Party is over, does he try and claim he was a victim of JK. I mean, what's he got? Someone was mad at him about Mafia? Effing call CNN. And JK, if you do or say something funny, it gets called out. Joshisms were often amazing and he'd laugh at them too. Nobody pushed it harder than Joe or Bart. They felt rightly that Josh was essential because of his random antics. And I had an effing blast with the dude doing bits and accents for hours. But crapping on JK after the fact to clout build is weak."
Through some investigation, I found out that prior to this situation, Josh actually did speak on his feelings towards leaving Just Kidding News and Just Kidding Productions in general. He did so on his live Twitch stream, in fact, and many questions were prompted to him.
"What have you been up to since leaving JK?
I've just been kind of hanging out with friends. I think I said before, but I'm in a lot happier place than I was when I was there, to be honest.
Sounds like it was stressful.
Yes. I was very, very stressed. I felt like I had to be on my best behavior most of the time.
So you left because you weren't happy.
Yeah, that was because I wasn't happy, because then it was just kind of like I feel like, yeah, kind of, well, I mean, there are other reasons, but I left because I wasn't happy. And just because, like, sometimes with, like, treatment and whatnot. Like, I don't know, sometimes when people send, like, 3-page texts and they, like, talk to you a certain way versus, you know, them talking to someone else in a different way.
Do you still talk to any of your ex-coworkers?
I mean, a little bit. I talked to some people from, some of the crew members. That's just basically it. Like, most of the majority of who I talk to.
What about Steve and Nikki from the main cast?
No, I've talked to Nikki and Steve. No, actually, I haven't talked to Nikki and Steve for a while. I think the last time we talked was like, well, we didn't really talk. I think it was just more like a casual talk. Anything. Oh god, I feel like I still talk to them a lot more than anyone else in the crew or anyone else in the older cast. I think Steve and Nikki were really cool. They were really cool. I liked them.
Was Tiffany seriously mad during that episode of Mafia?
Yes. Tiff was actually pissed off. She wrote me like a 3-page text of like why she was pissed off. And then I was like just trying to be nice, but the whole time she was just, I don't know. It was just kind of like it just like really opened my eyes up to like a lot of things when that happened. Even it's not kind of like I'm kind of like whatever because it happened in the past. I'm just like talking about this like right now. But it's just like kind of like, I mean, I feel like I've gotten bagged on a lot. So like my thing is just like, why is it that like no one kind of defended me when that happened, but you just kind of defending people now? And it was like legit 3 pages of text, and I was like, that's just like I feel like that wouldn't be said to anyone else, but that would be said to me. I'm like, that's just fucked. Like I don't need to like go through that. I didn't even say anything like mean or whatever, but that was a pretty wild episode. Or I felt like it was pretty wild. Given yes, some of his voice of frustrations, but when you say it to someone and then I don't know, it just left like a bad taste in my mouth. I think at that point I was like still thinking about like leaving. But I was kind of like, I mean, it's like not too bad. And like when I got to that, I was like, no, that's just fucked. That's just completely fucked. It's just not a good feeling when you have to see someone every day and say like, okay, you have to like be nice or you have to do this. Even there's all these stuff I wanted to say. It's just I just feel like because it's like a professional environment, I don't want to say that. I mean, there's other stuff I feel like a lot of people saw on set, so I was just like,
What else happened on set?
There's like a whole like 3-page text. I don't know, it sometimes felt clickish, and I just didn't feel good about it. Honestly, I feel kind of like how Bose felt with Smosh at times.
How did Bose feel about Smosh?
You're telling me the tea.
say what you want.
I feel a lot of like genuineness and warmth between like you and like, you know, like other people that are in JK.
Yeah.
I was at Smosh for 2 years and it was just cold every day.
Oh wow.
Every single day. Like, I mean, I think that coming into that, this is not all of them, but some of them. This is a very tightly knit group of people that have been friends for 5 years.
Yeah.
You're not gonna just walk in and be their friend.
Yeah.
And you know, I think early on, I was kind of weird. I was socially awkward. I'm sure I was unprofessional. Like these people are very, very professional, like super savvy business folks. And I was just a kid that came in. And, you know, I learned a lot there, but I feel like I was never forgiven for some of the socially awkward, you know, ness that I had. And, you know, even looking back, I'm like, ooh, that was kind of cringy, or that was that. But, you know, I never wronged anyone. And
Like what? Like what would you do?
Oh, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like I would just like do embarrassing stuff, or like I was like unprofessional, or would speak at the wrong time, or like.
You were unprofessional at a place called Smosh?
Yeah. It's all business, dog. It's all business.
That's so weird. Like,
yeah,
I would never
because
think that.
after let's see, the company had a falling out in November. I've got a person there that I'm actually pretty good friends with, but other than that, I've gotten 2 text messages from them. I got a happy birthday from one person, and I got another hey, just wanted to let you know this is what's going on with Smosh. I hope you're doing well.
Oh my gosh, guys, it's not tea. It's just how I feel. I mean, I feel like I'm on good terms with him. I'm just also just like voicing like what's happened in the past.
Why didn't you go to Bart and Gio's wedding?
I think the wedding was just kind of like awkward for me personally, just because I think from what I remember, I was in the car. Like 1, I was kind of busy, but 2, also it was just because I don't know. Like originally, when I had asked about it, the response I was given was, "Oh, I didn't know you wanted to come," and it just seemed like an awkward like response. And it was just kind of like an awkward air after that. Like it was like a whole awkward silence. I was like, "Oh, I guess I wasn't invited?" Question mark. But then, I mean, like, when we shot that, like, Cards Against Humanity's video, then they said I was invited. I was, like, so confused. I think that's why I was just, like, at the last second, I was like, I was busy, just to clear the awkward air of it. I think because of that, too, and just, like, other things, I just decided not to show up a lot of times. Just because it felt like I was tolerated at points. It felt like I was more, like, tolerated than anything.
Do you think that you'll miss working at JK?
I don't think I'll miss it. I probably won't miss it, Bacon. That's because it was just like such a. I mean, there was just like a lot of stuff that's happened. I just felt like maybe I was the issue, or maybe I wasn't. But it's just ideally, I just felt weird.
Joshua Osei was actually a guest on Steve Green's podcast with his wife Nikki Limo, and within that podcast, the actual topic of discussion was about bullying. Even Nikki, being the nice people they are, they actually decided to interview him on the matter and then see as friends how they can make the situation better. And Josh talks about his bullying experience. First half of the segment revolves around his childhood and the experience that he had with bullying in middle school and in high school. The second half of the segment revolves around online bullying and potential bullying he may have felt from his workmates.
Have you ever felt bullied in real life on JK Party?
No, I don't believe so. At least I can't recall. And I think just because when we play games,
Yeah.
like I won't remember. Like it's just so
Yeah,
done. Like by the next week I'm like,
yeah.
okay, where are we ready to play now?
Yeah.
And
Josh
that's
is bullying
just
his water bottles, by the way.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like personally attacked, or are you able to separate it?
I feel a little bit attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because again, it's like a
Your
personality.
personality, right?
Yeah.
By the kids or by the fellow cast members or both?
I guess the kids. Just because in one, like I view them kind of like as like my audience, but I view them as my supporters. So when it gets to the point where like, oh, your own supporters, the people that you think that would like have your back,
Yeah.
are like constantly bashing you, it's just like it leaves you this uncertainty of like, oh,
You can't.
where do we go from here? Like we have this conflict, we have like this pink elephant in the room. Like, how do we all talk about this? Is it just gonna be them all throwing their opinions and then never listening, or like what? So
Yeah, I mean-
I have like a certain type of like humor, but I don't think a lot of people like in like the cast have it. I mean, maybe the editors, but it's just like I have a certain type of humor, and I'm like, fuck, I'm not sure if like it'll like play well on camera.
It always does.
Yeah,
It always does.
but like it'll like be like really there, and I'm like, I'm not sure. So then I'll just like say something, like I'll look at everyone like
Yeah.
laughing. I'm like, okay, that's good.
Or sometimes I see what you are thinking about saying, and
Yeah.
we make eye contact, and then you start laughing.
Now, it is quite obvious that a lot of fans would be upset about this bullying allegation, and a lot of people have taken to Discord, Twitter, into their private group chats, and interestingly enough, in Reddit. While scrolling through Reddit, I actually saw something interesting. One of the cast members yet again ends up addressing some of the allegations made.
The Reddit post reads, I'm not trying to get too far into this mess because it's a mess, but let me reply to each of your paragraphs. 1. He's never been excluded from any events. He's been literally invited to anything I've ever been invited to. 2. We're not saying asking for reshooting uncomfortable scenes is unreasonable, but imagine a game show where the contestant asks to literally change events that occurred in the game to make themselves look better, like key events that alter the game. We want him to be comfortable with his image, so we easily oblige, but it's not a common request. That's all Steve meant. 3. No one is perfect, and I don't have anything to apologize for, and I don't remember any hands having my back either, but it's okay, cause I'm a strong independent man. 4. Chill out. You can feel that, I guess, but it's not very nice.
As it stands right now, no one else has made any formal statement regarding this matter, so we're left up to questioning what's going to happen, if any more responses are going to happen. Did Josh essentially burn bridges for real, or are people going to be able to communicate with him about what's going on, and will their friendships be mended? So honey's opinion time. Okay, let's chat. So we'll talk about Veronica Wang. So as it is with Veronica, I think that she did very well to address the situation. She has lost someone, her friend, and I think it's very admirable that in her time of mourning, she actually let people know that she is aware of what's happening. So I don't know, just big ups to her, and I hope that, you know, she is seeking the proper help that she needs to be able to cope with the loss of her friend. And it's just amazing that even though she and Stephanie had that falling out, that she still wanted to let Stephanie know that, hey, I'm with you, I'm proud of you. Now, about this bullying thing. We saw what online bullying did to Stephanie, and it's crazy. As it stands right now, the owners, Bart Kwan and Joe Jitsukawa, have not made a formal statement regarding the situation. Ideally, I would hope that they would do so. I'm a huge fan of Just Kidding films and Party and JK News. JK News, I've been rocking with them for like 7 or 8 years now. So for me, it's like I'm personally invested in that way, even though I don't formally know them. But I just think it's crazy that this is potentially happening. And like when I look at Josh, I was one of the supporters that was like, oh, they kind of do treat Josh kind of odd. But then it also struck me that he didn't like quite fit in with them, and he actually said that. But what bothered me about his Discord conversation is that he claims that the reason why he didn't end up vibing with people is because he never felt like he was included. And that kind of struck me as strange, because something about Just Kidding News is that they call themselves family all the time. and how they don't let people go, or they end up building a future with certain individuals within the company because they hold everyone to such high esteem and they regard them as family. So it's kind of weird to me that he actually ends up referencing Bose Bozeman. The fact that Josh ended up saying that he related to that, I just felt for him because that must have sucked. But then a part of you wonders, like, why did you stay there? And then a part of me is like, okay, well, it's money. So he viewed it as an employment situation from a professional perspective. Honeys, it's something so small in comparison to Stephanie Sue, but then again, I'm also the type of person who doesn't like to minimalize somebody else's experience, especially when all of these people are of high influence, especially in comparison to Josh. Workplace bullying happens all the time, and I don't want to just say that, I don't want to just write it off as saying that, Josh is overreacting, he's acting like a baby, but at the same time, I don't want to condemn Just Kidding cast and production, the main cast or whatever, all their friends and all of that, because, you know, there's two sides to every story, and I see how they interact with each other. So I'm wondering if their personalities didn't mesh, kind of similar to how Stephanie and Veronica's personalities didn't mesh. So hopefully we'll be given some sort of insight regarding that matter, because it's sad that it had to turn into this. I'm not saying that one is more wrong than the other, because Josh kind of dropped the ball when bringing this all online instead of talking to them personally. Gina ended up dropping the ball when she made that public statement and adding more attention to it than necessary, because her presence on the internet is a lot stronger than Josh's.
Oh, my darling Troublesomes, I am so sorry to interrupt your regularly scheduled program once again, but as it stands, I decided to reach out to you all because I was highly irritated. Reason being is that in the middle of me editing, I realized I missed a very integral tweet, and I'm going to show this tweet to you because it is that important to me. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is not because it really adds anything to the story, but because I just don't like how self-righteous Gina seemed at this point in time. I don't know if it's just me, you guys let me know in the comment section down below, but it seemed very, very, very demeaning, because who are you, honey, to come and say you scared him back into his place to make him delete the message? And it just shows that you thought you were mightier then. So that also causes me to question, was that bullying a real thing? Because you seemed very self-righteous at that point in time, and I understand that your friends are going through something. I completely understand that there is a potential that Josh is actually trying to defame Just Kidding News, but Gina, you were doing too much. I think she was doing too much, guys. I don't know. And then it made me reread her initial message where I completely understood where she was coming from, but then I just looked at her verbiage and she said plucked him out of and got him a job or whatever, and then remember where you came from. Like, what is that supposed to mean? I don't know. I don't know the background information, so forgive me. And I don't know, just guys, let me know if I'm wrong in my irritation. Please let me know, because right now my patience level is all the way low, and as it stands, you know what, I'm going to leave Gina in her business, but let me know how you feel. Okay, go back to your regularly scheduled programming.
And then additionally, Steve, I guess, could have potentially been seen as dropping the ball because he released so much information to the fans. I don't know, it sucks. But that's all I have to say, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification to receive updates any other time that I upload. Let me know how you feel about this situation. Are you familiar with Just Kidding News and crew? Do you think that Veronica Wang should even take the time to respond to this whole Nikocado Avocado situation, or should she just let it go and focus on her own health and wellness? Yeah, let me know how you're feeling. And have you guys ever been in a situation where you had to let your friends go because of how they were treating you? I don't know. That's all I have to say to you, honeys. And one last reminder, the giveaway closes on the 5th. So make sure, if you have not already, go ahead and go in the back and look for that video, and make sure you follow all the rules. If you've already done it, make sure you followed all of the rules, because I see so many people participating on YouTube, and I'm just scared because nobody's following the rules. So I wish I had more to give, but I just want to make sure that everybody's doing it properly, so nobody comes for me later and be like, oh, you didn't do it fairly. And I'm like, I did, because these people follow the rules. Okay, but in any case, I love you all so much. Bye!
I think my message would just be that, I think just no matter what, like while you're growing up, just do you. Really appreciate the things that you do, appreciate who you are as a person, because like no matter what, again, you live only by yourself. Like you are your complete vision. So like kind of like look at yourself as, I'd say look at yourself kind of like a character in a story. Like there are different story arcs, or different like things that happen. So like let whatever weird part of you, let it be the story arc, see it from beginning to end, and just accept that part. And just whoever doesn't like you, they don't like you. That's just a supporting character that will probably get axed out by the end of the season.